of a prop than a floral arrangement. So these are Manzanita trees. This is an artificial one. Because for a while they were all the rage, so I was always building Manzanita trees. And I don't know if any of you have ever cut Manzanita. They're almost impossible to cut.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest wood ever. So we finally bought the artificial ones. I'm going to show you an arrangement that could be for a buffet. It's going to be Easter egg tree. It looked a little too bare and sad, so I did put some silk cherry blossoms on it. Not a huge fan of silks, but sometimes you have to. They had horrible leaves, so I took all the leaves off. Because often, the silk flowers are awful because the color's wrong. So if you get the color to be not too objectionable, then it's all right. So all I did was wire 3 stems of cherry blossoms to the Manzanita tree. And what I have down here are 2 oasis caged foam that I have tied diagonally on either sides of the tree. And all I did was green in a little bit so that I don't have to do all of it here. It's like a cooking show. You don't want to see all the potato peeling, right? So this is what I used. And I used some glue dots to stabilize it, but I also wired it so that, you see you can thread a wire through here and pull it out here, and that could be threaded on here. So all I did was put some pittosporum in there. I cut a few branches from the cherry blossom to have it down here, because you kind of always want to repeat your materials, so this doesn't look weird, right, compared to up top.
What do they call that?
This is called Oasis caged foam. They have a lot of different sizes as well as shapes. So this is a large one. This is a small one. So I'm going to do mainly a white and green arrangement because there's not a lot of color, and I felt if we did a lot of color down here, it would look strange. So I'm going to use some of these large roses.
What did you say was the name of that rose again?
It's called Princess Miyuki.
Miyuki.
Uh-huh. It's a new one to me.
It's a lot of petals on there.
I know. I love these kind of English-style roses. When I was talking to Darlene, I said, I need to do the May show because I could bring all my garden roses to show everyone. Maybe next time. And then I love these ranunculus, especially the weird ones with the green centers.
Yes. So, Catherine, how many weddings do you do a year?
I do very little now. I'm semi-retired.
Are you really?
Yeah. Well, I still do them. I have a client who just contacted me. I did her wedding years ago. Her sister's getting married, so, I might do that one. COVID brought our business to zero. So we were doing all the backyard weddings, that we had on. We had a lot of weddings on the books for 2020. And then they all became backyard weddings or weddings with just the parents, And you kind of get out of the swing of things. I don't miss setting up 30 centerpieces when it's 95 degrees in Livermore. I love the design part. The delivery setup is horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Oops. Especially since you have no control over the weather.
Right.
And whenever I leave a wedding, I just cross my fingers, go, hope it looks nice 2 hours from now. This is some beautiful hellebore.
Oh, gorgeous. Look at the color.
I was at the flower market and they were selling hellebore plants. It was so beautiful, the plant. It had every color on there, so I bought a plant. As you can see, I'm not the most precise designer. That's right, you can. And there's other ways to use this tree. You don't have to do the arrangement at the base. You could do arrangements around it, or easier, just 4 little vase arrangements around the tree. And you could do hanging candles. We actually have little hanging glass that you can put candles in. I would put the electric candles though.
Christmas decoration too.
That's right. You could do Christmas decoration. I need to have a volunteer in a few minutes. It's not going to be difficult. You don't have to sing or anything. See, even with a tiny oasis cage, it's always a challenge to cover all the foam because it's all exposed. So I'm going to squat down and make sure we're not showing our panties. Beautiful wax flower. Right now is prime season for wax. It's a beautiful filler, I think. It sort of has a feeling of like flowering branches.
How do you replace your containers?
You know,
There's unique.
yeah, well, that's what I think makes it fun for everyone. I want everyone to be able to take home something that they can keep using. Because if I just did like glass vases and beautiful arrangements, it'll last 3 to 5 days and that's it, right? And then I want to inspire everyone to do this yourself. Usually when I do garden show demos, I always think, if I were entertaining, what can I use? What would wow my friends? What would be whimsical and interesting? Because most of you are not professional designers. You don't want to see a dozen roses in a vase, right? And I'm also not a very high concept designer. I don't do like tortured calla lilies or, you know. You know what I mean.
I mix calla lilies with my red roses.
I like calla lilies. What I mean is, bend it into a thing and, I think I approach gardening sort of as a gardener. I like all the beautiful materials, the lush textures. And more is never enough. It's the flower equivalent of big hair. So I'm going to put a little bit more because there's some foam exposed here.
How do you keep that vase wet?
It'll stay wet for a day and a half or so. If you were doing it for a dinner party or something, I would do it, and then you could put it in like a plastic container with a shallow bit of water, and then wire it on before your party. Okay, now I need a volunteer. Okay, where is it?
I'm carrying something.
It's a fun thing. Put the eggs on. No. So these are such beautiful little eggs I found. They're like gold leaf with pastel colors.
Oh, is that gorgeous?
So if you had children or grandchildren who made eggs, that's even better. But I just bought these at Hobby Lobby.
With the ribbon on?
No, I put the ribbon on because it's hard to find eggs with ribbons on them. So whatever looks good to you. Okay. So all I did was put a glue dot on top. There's these glue dots you can buy. I put a glue dot on top because they weigh nothing, and just put a loop of ribbon on it. That way you can just buy any kind of egg. Because I was looking for eggs that have the string, and there's only some that are like very, very colorful, and I wanted something a little more subtle. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I told you it's not hard.